is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Few sports can equal the magic and pure excitement of Stanley Cup playoff hockey overtime. Last year, en route to their 24th Stanley Cup, the Montreal Canadiens used 10 overtime wins in 4 rounds. This season, the overtime magic has made its way to the Pacific Coliseum and the dressing room of the Vancouver Canucks. Where does it come from? How does it work? No one knows. It just works. Down 3-1 in the first round to the Calgary Flames, the Canucks won 3 straight in the extra session, including Game 7.
Brown, a hit from Bure. Bure going in. He scores! Pavel Bure has won it for the Vancouver Canucks. It's a triple overtime hat trick for Vancouver.
In round 2, the overtime continued to work its magic for Vancouver against the Stars in Game 4.
Jelena flips it back to the point. Lumen shoots. Knocked down in front.
So, with Momesso's goal at 11:01 of the extra session late Sunday afternoon, the Canucks have 4 overtime wins in the last 7 games. Tonight in Vancouver, Canuck fans might not be pulling for OT, but they'd like to see their team clinch a series on home ice. This is Game 5 in the Western Conference semifinal. Vancouver a win away from a rest. The Stars a loss away from a long rest.
Well, they talk about the noise level at Chicago Stadium and the San Jose Arena, but tonight the Pacific Coliseum may very well rival those 2 facilities. If the Dallas Stars hope to take this series back to Texas for a game Thursday night, they're pinning their hopes on Andy Moog. He did not play against St. Louis, nor was he in net for the first game against Vancouver, but he is making his 3rd straight start. At the other end, it's Captain Kirk once again for the Vancouver Canucks. And you talk about overtime heroes, 4 different ones for Vancouver. But without the work of this man, they would not have had a chance to perform those overtime heroics. Terry Gregson is the referee for tonight's game, with Kevin Collins and Dan Shakty on the lines. Mike Magoo is the backup official. Apparently there was a problem with the clock here at the Pacific Coliseum, and they had to readjust it prior to Terry Gregson moving to center ice to drop the puck to get this 5th game underway. Trevor Linden is going to start between Martin Jelena and Jeff Courtnall. And for the Dallas Stars, they will send out the unit of Platt, Modano, and Gagne. The Vancouver Canucks in all 4 games have had a quick start. This is something the Dallas Stars, I'm sure, will be very aware of tonight and will be trying to control the Canucks and the loud fans in the opening minutes of the hockey game.
Oh, you'll see Dallas try to come with a much quicker start, Don. The key is to still play solid defensively.
Ledyard leaves it for Courtnall. Courtnall tried to put it in front. It was deflected. Modano couldn't center it. Gilchrist gets it back to the net. Gilchrist out front. Courtnall lets the shot go. Gilchrist gets the rebound. He couldn't handle it. Back comes Hennigan. This is a 4-on-2. Linden has it. He drops it for Courtnall. A shot. Save. Linden came out from the corner. Fired wide. Hennigan getting set. His shot in front for Jelena to Courtnall. And Andy Moog makes the save.
We just talked about quick starts. Dallas got down into the Canuck zone. But then a quick burst by Hennigan, something that he has done very, very well. Watch him wheel out. Courtnall here with a nice opportunity. Moog with a huge save. You need those big saves. We talked about McLean doing it. I can remember playing the Edmonton Oilers in the early 80s. They would always find a way to get a quick goal. It seemed no matter what you did, you could not stop it. And when they got on a roll, it was like trying to stop a speeding freight train. The Canucks have got the same sort of dominance over Dallas so far in this series. And we'll watch and see if there's any blood in the first 10 minutes.
Bure has the puck. Bure left it behind the net for Craven. He was bumped by Cavallini. This is a different line combination for the Vancouver Canucks with Adams between Bure and Craven. Didick goes back after it. He whips it around the boards, kept in by Hatcher. Bure is on him, a backhand shot knocked down before it gets to the net. Left in the corner for Gagne. Gagne is circling. He had no alternative but to dump it to the corner. Didick for Bure. Bure in front of his own net to Babbage. He moves it ahead to Greg Adams. Cavallini banked it off the boards. Lume racing in from the point, keeps it in. Craven tried to put it back to the net. Moog came way out of his net to play it. There were two Vancouver players in behind Andy Moog, and he sensed their presence and moved out of the net quickly to play it in the corner.
And Neil Broughton has been on against Bure for a lot this series. Dallas hasn't had the same focus on the Canucks star that Mike Sullivan and the Calgary Flames did. Perhaps that's one of the reasons that Bure has been able to continue opening his game up.
We played 2 minutes of the opening period as Ronning works his way in. Ronning dumps it in. Jelena couldn't pick it up. McPhee moves it along the boards, takes a hit from the overtime hero in Game 4, Sergio Momesso. Mike Lawler flips it around the boards. Dumped out to center ice and fired right back in by Brown. The lineup change for the Dallas Stars. Doug Smolek is not dressed. Dave Barr is in the lineup. McLean went to play the puck in the corner, got tangled up, but Barr couldn't get to the loose puck. Hunter starts back. His rink-wide pass broken up. Driven in by Evason. Back after it goes Hedekut. Hedekut being pressured behind the net. Evason can't move out with it. But staying with Hunter. Hunter continues to battle along the boards and knock the puck into Dallas territory. Didick now with it. He flips a backhand to the corner. Hatcher picks it up for Dallas. Shane Sherlock looking for Modano. He missed him with the pass. Didick takes his time. He tried to hit curling Trevor Linden in the center ice area. He'd moved away from a check and found some open space, but the pass was beyond his reach. Here's a lead pass for Gilchrist. Gilchrist driving to the net, and Didick does a great job of tying him up. Babbage takes Churley in against the boards. There's a whistle on the play and a holding penalty against Vancouver. 16:28 is the time remaining in a scoreless first period. Gerald Didick is in the penalty box. The Stars with the first power play of the hockey game. Courtnall overskated it at center ice. Linden picks it up. Linden moves it back to Glenn, and Glenn will flip it in. Ledyard having some problems controlling the puck, now moves it across to Cavallini. His pass intercepted by Courtnall. His younger brother Russ is in to take the puck away from him and give it to Ledyard.
Well, this penalty can be a key in this hockey game, Don. If Gregson is going to call penalties like he just called on Didick, the key is to continue to drive to the outside and try and force defensemen to take a penalty. If that is called regularly, it will change the type of game we've seen.
Here's a shot by Courtnall. The rebound comes back to Courtnall. Courtnall can't get a shot away. Back to the point. Ledyard over to Cavallini. To Courtnall. Ledyard races in from the point. The pass goes to him and almost went off the skate of Glenn in front of the net.
Well, Don, you mentioned key saves by McLean. That is what has allowed Vancouver to be where they are now. He's made 2 so far in the last 45 seconds.
Gagne shoots. It's blocked by Hedekut. Gagne behind the net for Gilchrist. Gilchrist scored the lone goal for Dallas in Game 4. Now Tim Hunter picks up the puck with 34 seconds remaining and dumps it the length of the ice and quickly goes to the bench to be replaced by Pavel Bure. 14:55 remaining in the opening period. Matvichuk dumps it in. McLean has to play it. McLean flipped it to the corner. Hatcher has it. Hatcher tried to feed it back to the point, but Matvichuk couldn't get into position in time. A two-line pass with 7 seconds. A quick goal in San Jose with the details. Here's Steve.
Don, there has been a shark attack in San Jose. McCowan has the puck jump over his stick right there. Sergei Makarov gets his first goal of the series when he goes stick side against Felix Potvin. That is number 7 in the playoffs for Makarov. That coming at 1:17 of the opening period. The Sharks out in front.
And a look at McLean with a key save. Watch the deflection here. McLean with his pad on the left post. It went off of Platt's skate. Glynn right on top of him. Even when shots aren't intended to go on the net, this guy has been stopping him. Not so much that he has been absolutely flawless. You might argue that some other goalies have played better, but they haven't played better at key times. The Stars' power play has been better than it currently sits, though.
Vancouver's penalty killing throughout the playoffs has been superb. Apart from Game 2 of the Calgary series, as Divic comes out of the penalty box, they have only allowed 3 power play goals in the last 50 chances. McPhee's shot into the pads of McLean, and he holds it for a faceoff. The Canucks going with the identical lineup to the unit that won Game 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Well, assistant coach Rick Smith, the New York Rangers, Ron Smith with the New York Rangers. This guy played professional ball in the States. Was a pretty good player, good outfielder, not a bad hitter. And one day the pitching improved as he moved up a level, and he called home and he said, "Mom, they're throwing curveballs. I think I'll see you soon." A different level, not unlike going from the minors in hockey up until the National Hockey League. It's a little different, and although the difference is not a lot, it weeds out a lot of players, just as it did Smith from professional ball.
14:07 remaining in the opening period. No score in the hockey game. And the Dallas Stars in this game have done more than they did in the previous 4. They have survived the first 4 minutes of the hockey game without giving up a goal.
Well, and that is a crucial statistic. The key is to keep the level of play going. If you let one in now at 10, you still got a problem.
Here comes Bure. Bure fakes the shot, still controls. Bure comes back to the line over to Lume. Lume tried to drop it back for Bure. He was checked by Gagne, and the puck is knocked out to center ice. Here's a 2-on-1. Lead pass for Courtnall. He shoots, and McLean got a piece of it. Russ Courtnall has been stymied throughout this series despite having 24 shots. Bure, quick shot through legs, and it's held by goaltender Moog. 13-13 the time remaining. The first period remains.
A rink-wide pass puts Courtnall in all alone. And like we've said many times before, when the key save has been required, McLean has been there. Perfect angle. Courtnall gets a very hard shot away. McLean handled it and gently put it to the corner.
Lafayette out between Jelena and Momesso. Modano won the draw. Hatcher has it in the corner. He's being pressured by Momesso. Momesso is hanging on to his stick. Momesso gets it up front, and Lafayette took a shot, and Moog moved across to get a piece of it. Up front again, Lafayette scores!
Well, it's amazing what you can do when you know what you're doing, even if you lose the face-off. Vancouver loses this draw, but then great positioning and poor positioning for the Stars gives a couple of chances. Lafayette continues to stay in the slot, and all of a sudden, he comes back in. He's not stationary. When you're moving, you're a lot tougher to cover. After one great chance and a super save by Moog, Lafayette has given another one. You don't give 2. And as we just finished saying, Don, the Stars got through the first 5 minutes. The next thing they had to do was get through another 5. That didn't happen, and they are in a similar situation to what they've been in the first 4 games, down early in period 1.
And Nathan Lafayette dove into the net to retrieve that puck, his first ever playoff goal. McPhee's long shot off the stick of Divic. It lays in front of the net. The Canucks were a little unsure as to who was going to play it. Jelena and Hedeken draw the assists on Lafayette's first ever playoff goal.
You know, when you look at assists on goals like that, great plays by Jelena, Hedeken, and Momesso. How about the assist to McLean, who just stop a minute before a point blanker by Courtnall.
Well, Andy Moog made a great save to deny Lafayette on the first attempt, but he scored on his second try. 1-0 here. Steve, what's happening in San Jose?
It has just become a 1-1 hockey game at the Shark Tank. The Leafs on the power play. Ellett moves it over to Mironov. Watch the shot. It goes through traffic, gets behind Arthur's Urbe. It is not tipped. It is given to Mironov. That coming at 7:07 of the first, and it's deadlocked in San Jose.
Jelena behind the net has all kinds of time as Lafayette jumps in. And that is happiness. The first goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs. What a great feeling.
Puck is in front of the net again. This time Lawler being pressured by McIntyre. Ojek tried to center it. Bure comes down the right side. His dump into the corner. With Didick getting to it and flipping it all the way down the ice. There will be no icing as Moog is forced to make the save. Gino Ojek didn't see a lot of action in Game 4, but on his first couple of shifts, he used the body very effectively for the Vancouver Canucks.
Boy, put a huge check on Shane Churlin.
The puck out in front of the net, it bounces, and there's a penalty coming up against Dallas. And it again is Gino Ojek creating some traffic in front of the net and causing problems along with McIntyre, and the end result is a penalty that will see Bob Gainey's team shorthanded for the next 2 minutes.
Well, let's have a look at why Cavallini gets the elbowing penalty. He's up in the air as Ojek comes in to hit him. When you leave your feet, there's a pretty good chance you're going to go to the box. Ojek stays on his feet and tail contact. Cavallini didn't make contact with the elbow, but he launched himself so that he wouldn't get the same from Ojek. One of those times in a game where you got to make your choice. Cavallini's choice put him in the penalty box.
In Game 4, the Vancouver Canucks had no success on the power play. Their record through the first 4 games, 3 for 16.
Well, Vancouver's power play was in great shape going into game number 4. They were batting 1 for 4, which when you go with a goose egg for a while, it doesn't take long for that percentage to drop.
Broughton against Linden. Linden gets the drop. Brown with the shot. It's wide. Lume puts it back to the net for Bure as it comes around the boards. Bure for Brown. He gets it over to Lume. Brown back to Lume. Lume in for Linden. Linden to Brown. Brown shoots. He was actually attempting to hit Adams at the side of the net, and he couldn't handle the pass. Now Lume lets the shot go. It's blocked. It bounces back to Brown. Brown trying to set it up. Lume looked for Bure. It was broken up. Linden gets it, keeps it in. Adams has it. He's checked by Hatcher. Linden gets it again. Linden looks for someone to give it to. Back to Lume. Quickly over to Brown. In for Bure. Good puck movement by the Canucks. And Brown back at the line had the puck deflect off his stick and out to neutral ice. 1 minute remaining in the penalty to Cavallini. 1-0. The Vancouver Canucks lead on Nathan Lafayette's goal at 7:04. We're approaching the midpoint of the opening period. Here comes Bure. Puck is flipped high to the corner. Ledyard is there. Linden takes it away from him. Linden looks in front for
that the Canucks have dominated the Stars in the first period. They've been quicker to the puck. They've won the one-on-one battles. Linden steals the puck here, and it's a one-on-one battle that you have to win. Bure's left alone in front. Look at 3 Stars, 2-on-2. If you're going to do that, you better watch number 10. If there's a choice, I'm picking 10 to watch. That wasn't the choice here. And Bure with a perfect deflection finds a way past Moog.
Pavel Bure has been a personal one-man wrecking crew for the Canucks against the Stars. He has scored 5 goals in this series. He now shares the playoff goal-scoring lead with Trevor Linden. Both have 8. A costly penalty to Cavallini as the Canucks take a 2-0 lead on the power play goal, and that will force the Dallas Stars to open things up. Puck is centered, picked off by Jeff Courtnall. Linden draws the lone assist in the goal at 9:32, and another penalty call has been made against Dallas. Mike Modano, who made 3 trips to the penalty box in Game 4, has again been fingered by referee Terry Gregson. Modano can't believe the call, but another power play opportunity for Vancouver.
Well, this is goaltender interference. Modano gets the left leg in behind, and as much as to the untrained eye that might look accidental, that's a play that's commonly used. The key is, when there's not a lot of traffic, is to disguise it a little bit better. Modano gets caught, and Gregson will have none of it. Here's a statistic for you. We've talked about being outshot or outscored in the first period. Vancouver now holds a 9-3 edge in scoring, although being outshot 51-66. Dallas was 66. Vancouver with 51. Dallas outshoots them. Vancouver outscores them by a margin of 3-1. How do you like those odds?
And for all you people involved in playoff pools, if you've got Greg Adams on your list, he got an assist. They have added an assist to the Bure goal for Greg Adams. Brown from the point for Bure, and Bure was checked by Ludwig, couldn't get a shot away. Brown unable to knock down Ludwig's clearing attempt. Now Lume is forced back, turns neatly away from Broughton. For Adams, he leaves it for Linden. Back to the line for Lume, rink wide for Brown. Brown shoots, it's knocked down. Gilchrist can't control it, but the Stars will flip it down the ice.
Boy, the Stars are really searching for something here. You can see the look on their faces as they're changing. A shake of a head here, an eyebrow up there. They're just not confident right now.
Hatcher will flip it out with 1 minute remaining in the penalty to Mike Modano.
Those are little signs you look for in your opponent. If you see them, you really try to pour the coals to them. If Vancouver can go up by 3 and then play a good solid defensive game like we saw in parts of Game 1 and all of Game 2, they will eliminate frequent flyer miles on their trip to Dallas tomorrow.
Courtnall has it back of the net. He leaves it for Momesso. Back to Courtnall. Courtnall shoots. It's blocked. Momesso gets it. He leaves it there for Ronning. Back to the point for Brown. Into Ronning. Into the corner for Courtnall. Over to Momesso. Babbage back at the point with Brown. Brown lets the shot go. Kicked out by Moe. Brown is the right-handed shooting point man that the Vancouver Canucks really were looking for, and he plays almost the entire 2 minutes on the power play. Babbage with a shot. It rolls right to the net as Modano steps out of the penalty box, and Moe holds it for a face-off. 8:04 is the time remaining in the opening period. 2-0 Vancouver leads. We'll be back as we look at English Bay on a beautiful May 10th evening here in Vancouver. Let's move inside the Pacific Coliseum, where the Canucks have a face-off in the Dallas zone, leading 2-0. Nathan Lafayette, who has scored one of the goals, first goal tonight for the Vancouver Canucks in pressuring, but the Stars get the puck out. Matvechuk fires wide of the Vancouver net, picked up there by Babbage. Hatcher had the puck bounce over his stick, and Moog has to come out to play it. Leaves it in the corner for Modano, who flips it high and down the ice. Flynn, taking no chances, simply plays it off the glass down the ice. And again, Matvechuk goes back after it. Now it's loose for Shane Churla. Modano jumping up in the play. Modano going for the net, but Churla couldn't get it to him in time as he was tied up by Lume. Ryan Glynn now will try and drive it out, and he succeeds. Ledyard goes back after it. For Ludwig. Ludwig flipped it high. It bounced past Glynn. He has to skate back into his own zone to retrieve it. 6:56 remaining in the the first period, Vancouver in front by a score of 2-0. Now it's Ojek throwing it in front, and Ledyard just in time knocked it away from McIntyre. Then Ojek steps into Paul Broughton. Ojek has taken off his feet on a check by Ledyard. Ledyard more or less submarined Ojek. Now Hatcher and Ledyard bump with Ojek. But I talked earlier about the physical presence of Gino Ojek, and it seems that several of the Stars are concentrating more on Gino Ojek at times than they are on the puck.
Well, that's a good example of an effective fourth line. If you want to know what the fourth line has to do, re-look at the 35 seconds that we just saw. Give the other three guys a break, play good and physical, create some turnovers.
Fired wide by Bure. Linden has it in the corner. Picked off by Courtnall. Courtnall starts away with Gagne. They cross as they come to the line. Left for Ludwig coming in late, and McLean calmly grabs that one and then flips it out to Adams, who clears. That's something else about Kirk McLean. He's been very calm, it would seem, Jim, the way he has played goal throughout the postseason.
Well, the best example of that was the breakaway on Courtnall in game number 4. I could not believe how relaxed he looked as he moved the entire width of the crease to calmly put his pad out, stop the shot, direct it to the corner. It's an example of how he's played this entire series. A lot more confidence he's gained after winning in 7 against Calgary.
And people are still talking about the overtime save he made against Reichel that enabled the Vancouver Canucks' Pavel Bure to score the double overtime winner.
Well, that's the one that you remember, but there have been many just as important.
Puck comes out front, and Momesso was tied up. He couldn't get his stick on it. Eklund dumps it in, and Paul Broughton drove to the net, but he was tied up by Brown, and now Brown starts away. Here's a 3-on-2. Brown looking in front for Momesso, and he deflected it wide. Ronnie tried to move it out into the slot. He was knocked down, and the Stars start back. Broughton tried to center. Broken up by Craven, and back after it goes Ludwig. He has Lafayette on him. Pass is intercepted by Courtnall. He can't go anywhere with it as he was checked along the boards. Ludwig moves it out again for Barr. Barr to Evison. Evison for Churla. Churla lets the shot go. The rebound, and the penalty is coming up as Diddick hauled down Evison in front of the net. A hooking penalty against Vancouver with 3:53 remaining in the period.
Well, Diddick gets his second penalty of the evening. If he doesn't take this penalty on Broughton, it's 2-1. The rebound came off of McLean. Diddick put the hook on Broughton. Otherwise, there was all net for him to shoot at.
Ledyard for Courtnall. Courtnall works his way back to the line. Courtnall flips it back to Neil Broughton. In for Courtnall. His shot. McLean knocks it down and then steered the puck to the corner. Modano is checked by Jeff Courtnall. He can't get it out against Neil Broughton. Ledyard moves in. He shoots. It's blocked. Glynn dropped in front of that one. And now the Vancouver defenseman is able to move out and flip it down the ice.
Well, a good example of the Canucks' success in the last 25 seconds. The first shot, there was an alley to the net that McLean could see the puck. The second one, Glynn blocks it.
Russ Courtnall looks to the front of the net. Modano in the slot, now back to the point. Ledyard couldn't shoot it. And the puck bounces away from Gilchrist, who was back in the point. Modano is checked. And again, the Stars are having all sorts of problems trying to set up. Here's a pass for Modano. Modano tried to flip it rink wide. It went off a skate. McLean almost got tangled up in the corner. Gilchrist is in there trying to fish it out. Russ Courtnall has it back to the net. For Gilchrist. Cavallini from the point. His shot is kicked to the corner by McLean. Out front. They score! Modano in front. Took the the pass and hammered it behind Kirk McLean.
This is a huge goal for the Stars. They clearly have lost some confidence in the stages of this period. A big save by McLean right here. Gets the foot out. And it looks like maybe everything's all done. Perhaps a little bit of relaxation by the Canucks. But Modano, not unlike the Canucks' first goal, moves into the slot. Takes it off his foot. Great hand-eye. McIntyre just a hair slow and collapsing. And Modano, who he said has got to score if the Stars want a chance to go back to the Lone Star State and play more games, gets his second, the first for the Stars of this game.
And here's an interesting statistic. When Mike Modano has scored or had a point in the playoffs, the Stars have won every game.
And if he hasn't scored in this series, you know what has happened.
Back after it goes Babbage. And this is icing against Dallas. Steve, what's happened?
Jose, the Sharks make it 2-1 on the power play. Bob Airy gets credit for the goal, but it goes in off the skate of Bob Rouse. The Leafs complain. It goes to the goal judge, but they rule it is a goal. That makes it 2-1. And then at 15:03, Igor Larionov takes a rare long shot right here. Now watch Sergei Makarov jump on the rebound, get his 8th of the playoffs. He's now tied with Trevor Linden in that department. It is San Jose 3, the Leafs 1.
Well, Makarov and Larionov have been held off the score sheet for a while. When they score and Urbe plays well, San Jose is going to be a very tough opponent for the Leafs.
That's amazing the way the Sharks have rebounded after being hammered by a team in the playoffs. Everyone thought it was all over when Detroit went home and won by a score of 7-1. And I'm sure many were thinking the same thing when Toronto won Game 4 by a score of 8-3.
Well, sometimes it's nice to have a short memory. In the playoffs, a memory that doesn't work can get that confidence back instead of lamenting a thrashing like San Jose recently got from the Leafs.
Babbage has checked. The puck comes out and winds up at the side of the net. Shot by Dean Evison. And it's now flipped around the boards and down the ice. 1:22 remaining in this opening period with the Stars trailing by 1. Only in Game 1 against St. Louis did the Dallas Stars score the first goal. They have a horrible first period record in the playoffs. They have been outscored 12-4 in the opening period. And ironically, during the regular season, the first period was their best.
And what's worse is they've outshot their opponent in this series, and they're still outscored by a margin of 3-1.
Linden left it for Bure. It was knocked away from him by Modano. Modano can't clear. Bure gets another opportunity, and he whistled one off the glass. Gilchrist had it taken away by Bure. He leaves it for Adams. Adams faked the shot, goes wide. Now he shoots up high on Andy Moog. And Modano goes to the corner to pick it up. Platt can't get it out. Cut off by Hedican. And again, the Stars' Modano gets a chance, and this time he clears.
Big plays by Hedican. Those sorts of things go unnoticed a lot of the time, unless you're on the ice. When you've got a defenseman that stands in and can keep the puck in, it saves you a whole pile of skating. Hedican on the blue line stayed there. The puck comes up. He knocks it down, keeps it in. Linden's down deep. All of a sudden, he saved him 50 feet. And Linden can use his energy in more productive ways. Great job by Hedican. Bure, you don't want to turn the puck over in neutral ice on this guy. And when you do, like we see right here, Bure is on his way. Gets the blue line. Look at the Stars backing in. Cognizant of the speed that Bure has. A bit of a miscue watching Adams. 2 Stars take him. Defensive coverage has been the strength of Dallas this year. So far this evening, it's opened up some opportunities for Bure because the defensive coverage hasn't been as tight as Dallas had during the regular season.
Hartnell has it. He gets set and fires it wide. I don't think Moog ever saw that. There's traffic in front of the Dallas net, but Hartnell's shot went wide. Hatcher has it in the corner. For Gagne. Gagne moves it across to Ludwig. Ludwig flips it high to the corner, and back after it goes Brown. Brown, taking no chances, puts it up high on the glass. And if Ludwig can get there in time, this will be icing against Vancouver with 1.3 seconds remaining in the opening period. But the face-off is back in the Vancouver zone.
Well, Craig Ludwig made the difference with a huge body check on Jelena. Probably should have been penalized in the first game here in Vancouver, but wasn't. One of the things that Ludwig brings is a calming influence to this Dallas defense. He's the oldest guy at 33 with a couple of young guys, 2 at 21 and 1 at 23. Smolak 23, not playing tonight, but Matt Tkachuk and Hatcher 21. You need that calming influence. That's one of the areas that Vancouver has got an edge over the Stars. Some older defensemen that have been there and know what it takes in difficult situations.
Broughton tried to get the draw back to the point to Cavallini. He won the draw, but Cavallini couldn't unload a shot. So the first period comes to an end with the Canucks leading the Stars 2-1. Now let's an icing call, and that will bring the face-off back into the Vancouver zone. Both sides with a power play goal in the opening period, and as they have done in the 4 previous games in this series, the Canucks opened the scoring. Lafayette with his first ever playoff goal at 7:04, then Bure on the power play at 9:32, but a huge goal from Mike Modano to cut the deficit to 1 at 17:40.
Oh, Bure with the one-timer in front of the net. You can't give the Russian Rocket any extra airspace. He got it, and he made it 2-0. A huge goal, though, by Modano to make it 2-1. Dallas has come out with a little bit more snap than they had at parts of the first period. The question is whether they can sustain it.
Lafayette wins the draw. Did it. Tried to move it ahead for Courtnall, but it was picked off by the Stars. Here comes Russ Courtnall moving in. Courtnall shoots as McLean came out of the net to challenge him, and the Stars' Gagne just failed to deflect it in. Now it comes over to Matt Tkachuk, a shot up high, and it's picked out of the air and knocked down by McLean. Boy, the Dallas Stars came dangerously close to tying this hockey game, as first Russ Courtnall and then Matt Tkachuk let shots go in the opening seconds of period 2. Hatcher tried to hit Courtnall, the man coming late. Matt Tkachuk falls as he shoots it in, and back comes Jeff Courtnall. Jeff Courtnall with a neat move to get around Hatcher, but he lost the puck. Jeff Courtnall gets it again in the corner. Look towards the point, now tries to center for Jelena. It was knocked away from him. Russ Courtnall starts back, but Brian Glynn retreated quickly and managed to cover him. Jeff Courtnall has it. He shoots, save, and Ronning can't get to the rebound as it's smothered by Mold.
Well, McLean doing a nice job here. Courtnall waits for the 5-hole to open and slides it through. Gagne was a split second late, and this one was deflected high, but McLean, who has had an uncanny ability to grab pucks even when he hasn't been able to see them, and he hasn't had many that he hasn't been able to see. His defense and forwards have done an outstanding job at clearing a lane to the net and taking away the second shots.
Over to Hennigan. Hennigan shoots. Mold makes the save. For a moment, he wasn't sure where the puck had gone. Hennigan hasn't scored a goal in 138 regular season and playoff games, but he came close to making it a 3-1 lead. McPhee's shot bounces off a leg. McPhee races to the corner to get it again. Brown tied him up, wouldn't let him out. Now Ludwig lets the shot go. It goes wide. Lawler from the other point flips it to the corner. Paul brought his check. Hennigan moved it ahead for Jelena. He couldn't get out initially, but now gets the pass. Jelena against Lawler. Lawler pokes it away from him. The two go down to the ice as they slide to the boards. 17:29 remaining in the second period. 2-1, the Vancouver Canucks lead. The Canucks looking to end this series tonight. And if they are able to end this series, they are guaranteed a few days rest after playing every other day since the playoffs started, because the San Jose-Toronto series is going to go 6 and could go 7. Neil Broughton centers it. McLean steered it to the corner. Gagne had been knocked down. He gets it again. Can't center. Didick checked back to the net by Broughton. Moves it now to Bure. Bure skates out with Adams. Over to Didick. Didick drops it for Bure. Bure winds. He shoots up high on Andy Moog, and then the puck is deflected over the glass and out of play. 16:37 is the time remaining in the second period.
Well, very similar statistics for the two superstar speedsters on their respective teams. Shifts the same, ice time virtually the same, shots not that much different. But the Cardinals as well, Russ Cardinal taking much longer shifts than his brother Jeff. A couple of minutes, in fact. Some great scoring opportunities for Russ. One included a breakaway. Jeff was strong in his game as well, and Russ has taken that into the second period and had a great chance as well on the plane.
The Cardinals led their respective teams in shots on goal in Game 4, and they're doing the same thing in Game 5. Long drive on McLean, and a whistle on the play. With another update from San Jose, here's Steve.
Don, the killer whites in the Shark Tank tonight are Garpenloff, Makarov, and Larionov. Look at that beautiful pass from Larionov to Garpenloff. He one-times it, puts it behind Felix Potvin. That can be at 2:33 of the second period. It is 4-1 Sharks over the Leafs.
And you know, should San Jose prevail over Toronto and Vancouver beat Dallas, that's the only possible combination that would provide Vancouver with home ice advantage in the next round.
Well, when you look at the winners and losers at home and away, that advantage is slowly disappearing. That's something that Dallas believes in much more strongly right now than the Canucks do.
3 of the Dallas wins in postseason have come away from Reunion Arena. Churla tied up by Lume. Dave Barr comes in to help out. Lume in the corner, knocked off the puck, and Memesso moves it ahead to Jelena. He leaves it for Ronnie. Evison is after him, manages to take it away, and Barr starts back. He has Churla moving into the slot. Barr getting set, played it to an open wing, and Hedekin got there to pick it up for Vancouver. 15:44 remaining in the period. 2-1. The Canucks lead the Stars. Ledger gets it at the side of the net. Banked it off the boards for Platt. Memesso doing a good job of back-checking. Knocked him off the puck. Hedekin now. Ahead for Lafayette. Here's a shot fired wide by Craven.
Boy, what a bullet by Craven. Either Andy Moog is comfortable that his angle is perfect, or he did not pick up that shot. He didn't move as it whistled by the outside of the net.
Paul Broughton with Platt going for the net. Knocked away. In the corner now. Modano centers it. It's deflected back to the net, and back comes Jeff Courtnall. Here's a 3-on-1 with Courtnall coming in. There's the pass. Craven scores!
Well, Dallas just can't get back in the play here. Great speed by Courtnall and tremendous effort by Craven. Coming from the right-hand side of your screen, Craven jumps up. Look at how he has to sacrifice to get that shot away. The pass was not perfect, but Craven had to move into it. To one time, it knew he'd fall down and go crashing into the boards. But you see how quickly he gets up, and after missing a great shot a few seconds before, this one feels great and has lifted the Canucks to another level. They had slowed a little bit as Dallas was coming on after the goal by Modano. Once again, they open up a 2-goal margin and have that sweet momentum in their favor.
Boy, the native of Medicine Hat got absolutely everything into that one on the pass from Jeff Courtnall. Linden bumps Ledger. Neil Broughton is checked. Ledyard will try again. He had no alternative but to simply flip it out off the boards. He goes back to get it again. Linden is pressuring him. Now Russ Courtnall takes the pass. Courtnall flipped it up for Broughton. It was broken up by Babbage. The comment that Modano made yesterday, I think, is very relevant about the style of play of the Vancouver Canucks in the playoffs. As the puck comes out front and Gagner fires it wide, is that the forwards are coming back so well that the defenseman can stand up at the blue line.
Well, Pat Quinn said this morning that the forwards are responsible, or should he say irresponsible, use those two words, in the improvement in Vancouver's defensive play. Their defense has been fairly consistent, but it's the forwards that have really flicked the switch on their game and come back to help out. That's why they're so strong defensively and have been successful in playing the exact style that we're watching this evening.
In the corner, it's Gagner. Gagner moving out. He shoots, and McLean grabs it and holds it for a face-off. 13:30 remaining in the second. Greg Adams was shaken up and is struggling at the bench.
To us, it was a challenge to totally reshape what you expect from domestic transportation. 5 all-new models with safety, design, and performance equal to cars costing twice as much. After all, just because you're on a budget doesn't mean you have to drive an ordinary car. The shape of things to come from Chevrolet.
Looks like you broke your losing streak.
Well, Greg Adams was bumped along the boards just as we went to a commercial break, but he appears to be all right as he sits on the Vancouver bench.
Well, sometimes when you get twisted like that, it can knock the wind out of you or stretch something. Adams opened up as he went face first and then turned around into the boards.
Hatcher from the point flips a shot towards the net. Bure has it. Matvichuk battles with Momesso, and Momesso is able to clear. Hatcher again will drive it to the corner. Back after it goes Glynn, and Glynn takes no chances. He simply flips it out. Second time in this hockey game that the Canucks have had a 2-goal edge. Here's Ronning looking for more. Ronning circles. Momesso picks up the puck. Momesso, the overtime hero in Game 4, checked along the boards as Matvichuk starts away. His pass rink wide, picked out of the air by Momesso, and they rule he made contact with a high stick. 12:37 remaining in the second period here at the Pacific Coliseum, with the Canucks leading the Stars 3-1. McIntyre, Ojic, and Hunter, a physical line on the ice now for Vancouver for this face-off in the Vancouver zone. Bure is after Diddick. Churla comes in to help out. For Bure, Bure out front. Lawler had come racing in from the point but couldn't get a shot away. Ludwig cuts off a clearing attempt, fires a shot that is deflected. McIntyre runs into a hit from Churla, but Hunter picks up the puck. Hunter lets the shot go, continues to drive to the net and sends Ludwig head over heels over goaltender Moog, and then continues crashing towards the goal and takes it off its supports, and Terry Gregson is going to assess a penalty.
Well, I'll be surprised if my old pal doesn't get a penalty here. He drove to the net but drove a little too far on Ludwig and is on his way to the box. Well, Tim Hunter gets a pretty decent shot away, and as Ludwig stands up to stop Hunter from getting a potential rebound, Hunter figures, well, I might get a penalty for going into your goalie. Maybe you won't. Churla goes after Hunter right after that. Churla with a big check on McIntyre right here to stop the rush and give Hunter the one-on-one. Not bad odds. Defensemen rarely get beaten one-on-one, but Churla gets 2 minutes for his efforts on Timmy Hunter. You'll notice Pat Quinn puts his big, strong line out against Churla. He doesn't want Churla running around and giving any excitement to a Dallas team that is right now 2 goals behind.
Ledger slowly over to Ludwig. Ludwig plays it off Modano as McLean comes out of his net. Flip it around to the other corner. Jeff Courtnall is there trying to clear and manages to move it ahead to Linden. Linden with Hennigan. Hennigan lets the shot go. The save and the big rebound comes back to the line. Courtnall with a shot high off the glass. 4 against 4. Linden to the corner, being watched by Modano. Back to the line to Brown, over to Hennigan. Hennigan shoots. Moog's got it, and Linden can't get the rebound. Hennigan has it again. Now for Courtnall. Courtnall looked in front for Linden. He was checked, and Modano has it for the Stars. Linden is after him.
Gainey is not real comfortable with his team 4-on-4. You'll see him put an offensive player and a defensive one up front.
Courtnall's shot up high on Moog. Moog flipped it to the corner. Now it's Russ Courtnall weaving his way through center. Flips a pass in, goes after it himself. Looks back to the point. Cavallini. Cavallini tried to flip it across. It was broken up by Craven. Here comes Craven. Craven looking for Bure, and a good job by Cavallini. Bure has it again as Lume fed it to him, and Moog made the save. 24 seconds remaining in the penalties. Lume checks Gagne. He's forced to go back to Cavallini. This Vancouver team pumped by an appreciative crowd here at the Pacific Coliseum. Glenn races back, can't get it out. Lume comes over to help out. And now the penalized players, Hunter and Churla, are on the ice. Matvechuk works out of his own zone for Broughton. He tried to leave it for Matvechuk, but there's a perfect example of a forward coming back as Craven broke it up at the blue line.
Something that the Vancouver forwards have done, particularly inside their blue line. When you're playing defense and you've got forwards coming back like that, you get along real well after the game.
Meso flips it in high. Back after it goes Matvechuk. 9:34 remaining in the second period. Here's Jelena hopping on a loose puck, trying to get away from Broughton. It comes out front for Meso. Meso flipped it and it went wide. Babbage lets a shot go wide. Ronning races to the corner. He's checked. Picked up now by Eklund with Churla. Churla gets it back to Eklund. Eklund works his way into the slot area. Back to Ledyard. His shot is right on. Meso comes away with Ronning. Ronning dumped it to the corner, and Moog came out of the net to play it. Can't get it past Ronning. Meso comes over to bump his man. Ronning has it. Ronning tried to center, gets it again for Meso. It skipped away from him. Diddick pinches in from the point to keep it in the Dallas zone. Now Meso back at the point. His check managed to keep it in, and finally Ledyard trying to start out for Dallas is checked, but he perseveres and manages to knock it into the neutral zone. Here comes Hennigan, maybe the second best skater on the Vancouver Canucks next to Pavel Bure. People have really been impressed with his speed. And I don't think many people in Vancouver gave the name Brett Hennigan much of a thought when the deal was made to acquire Jeff Brown in the swap for Craig Janney. 8:05 remaining in the second period as the puck is flipped into the Dallas bench and out of play. Good action in the second period with Vancouver holding a 2-goal.
The best shark repellent in San Jose tonight is a goal. Mike Gardner crashes into the net, gets his 4th of the playoffs. Clark and Gilmore assisting for Gilmore. That's his 21st point. That coming at 6:54. It is now 4-2 in favor of the Sharks.
Look at this nifty little play here. Ronning uses the net. It's the 7th man. Sometimes the boards are the 7th man. Bang off the net. His defender has to put the brakes on. Ronning has a second extra to make a perfect little pass out front to his line mate Meso.
People fishing away for the puck. Modano is knocked down in the corner by Glenn. Cavallini centered it. Nobody there. Ludwig took a shot. It went off a skate to the other corner. Modano gets it back to Ludwig. Ludwig shoots and fires wide. 7:38 remaining. As Adams steals it, gets it over to Linden to Bure, and Bure is checked as he tried to go in, and back comes Courtnall. Courtnall almost got tangled up with referee Terry Gregson. Modano was knocked down at the blue line. Greg Adams has it. Adams is taken in against the boards by Gilchrist. And Linden, as he goes to the bench, simply flips it to the corner with Cavallini back after it. Jelena for Memesso. Memesso shoots, it's blocked. Memesso gets it again and manages to knock it to the corner. Cavallini being bothered there by Ronning. Played off Evason to center ice, flipped right back in. And Cavallini, under pressure from Ronning, dumps it high. Babbage goes back after it, being watched by Churla. He flips it down the ice. Matt Tkachuk retreats to pick it up for Dallas.
You can see how Dallas is trying to dump the puck in and get a bit of an attack going because Vancouver is so close between their forwards and their defense. Dallas is having absolutely no success. The puck goes in, it's right back out in their face, and is that frustrating. This guy has blocked shots for a lot of years, and people that have played against him know some of his tricks. Take a look at these knee pads. They are as wide as they are long. He's put the torch to these and bent them out flat. They've got lots of miles on them. When they've got cracks like this, they don't offer a lot of protection, and that's why there's all kinds of blood on the inside of them. I don't want to start to turn your stomach, but if we flip back a few of those old pads, you would see the stains in the war rooms that Ludwig has sustained because of these pads. Nice and flat. Glenn Sather doesn't like them because it allows them to block more shots. But it also means that in order to learn to skate with those wide pads, you got to walk with a basketball between your knees. I don't know how he does it, but does he block a lot of shots? And he still manages to get there. They're like old friends, Don. They'll be with him until he retires.
It's amazing sometimes the old equipment some players wear. Here's a shot by Russ Courtnall, and that's kicked out. He is getting very frustrated by the work of Kirk McLean. He has it again. Tried to slip it on a backhand shot, and McLean knocked that one away.
Well, Bob Gainey said at times Courtnall and Modano have a little bit more flash than they do finish. Wasn't saying that in a derogatory way. But Courtnall has definitely gotten through to McLean tonight, and it's been because of McLean that this score is only one on the Dallas side. Courtnall has been out and right on top of the goaltender a few times. Uses the old running trick that we saw a few seconds ago. Bank off the net, something guys practice all the time as he jumps out front. And McLean once again, very, very calmly directs it to the side. You know, you look at equipment, you talk about a guy like Ludwig, there's certain pieces of equipment that you simply can't continue to use because of the advances that have been made. Masks are one as we look at McLean's. The old helmet and cage has gone out of it. Goal pads now are not stuffed with the old deer hair that they used to be. There's all sorts of foams. Look at sticks. They've gone from wood to composite to metal to composite wrapped around metal to carbon to injection mold. All kinds of different advancements made in equipment.
Modano shot right on McLean with a pad save. Brown pushes it ahead to Bure. Bure feeds Adams. Adams with Linden. Flipped towards the net, but Linden couldn't get there in time. Now Bure with a quick release on the feed from Linden, fired high and wide. Modano being watched by Linden, flips it out to center, fired right back in by Vancouver. Adams is in forechecking. He's watching Paul Broughton. He moves it over for Ledyard. Ledyard quickly had Bure on him and had to hurry the pass. Adams couldn't control it at center ice. Now Bure takes a lead pass. Bure shoots. Saved by Moog, and he holds it for a face-off. 5:01 remains in the period, and the Canucks lead the game by the same margin. 5:01 remaining in the period. 3-1, the Canucks lead the Stars. Cavallini moves it for McPhee. McPhee looks for Churla. Churla couldn't handle the pass, but deflected it back into Vancouver territory. Glenn goes back after it. Evason is in forechecking. He ties up Glenn. Churla and Lume bump in the corner. The puck goes loose. Glenn puts it high off the glass, all the way down the ice, and Moog has to make the stop, so there's no icing call. McIntyre picked up the puck in across the Dallas blue line offside. Steve, I understand we've got another goal in San Jose.
Don, just when things were going the least way, they suffered another Shark attack. Watch this great pass here from Krupa. The 18-year-old gets it in front to Todd Ellick. He gets his fourth. That coming at 14-21. The Sharks now lead by 3 in the second.
Well, you have to continue to shoot the puck, but when you're shooting it and it's not going in, how frustrated can you get? Courtnall, who came into the game with 24 shots, has increased that total, but his goal output has stayed the same. Look at these other guys. Modano, who's accurate as they come and as hard as they come, only a pair for his 18, brought in the same. Gagne, 11 shots, but 1 goal.
These totals for this series, not for the playoffs. Here comes Russ Courtnall. Russ Courtnall trying to work around Didick. Gets the puck again, centers it, and a shot is fired wide. Matvichuk through traffic. Had his shot knocked down in front of the net by Babic. He moves it ahead to Jelena. He comes in with Ronning. Ronning gives chase to the corner against Matvichuk. Tried to center, and it's held at the side of the net by Mo.
You know, as much as people can tell you, just keep shooting the puck, it will eventually go in. Your goaltender tells it to you. Everybody tells it to you, but times.
3:58 remaining in the period. 3-1, the Canucks lead the Stars. Lafayette has scored a goal. Bure and Craven have also scored for Vancouver. Didick cuts off a clearing attempt. He can't do anything with it. Lawler tries to get it out the other side with some help from Ludwig. Not only have the Canuck forwards been doing a good job of getting back to help out their defensemen, they've also been very aggressive tonight with their forechecking.
Well, that's the important part of the game. You want to eliminate separation, but continue to press the guys you have the lead on. You want to talk about frustrating. Look at Dallas trying to flip it in. When they jump in now, all of a sudden Didick is there. Somebody is there to help him, and it's just a battle to get a puck through. And then when you do, you got to deal with McLean.
Picks it up in the corner. Craven goes right wide for Courtnall. Courtnall comes in with Lafayette. Courtnall is spun around, and there's going to be a penalty. Hatcher will get the penalty call. .257 remaining. His older brother Kevin saw his Stanley Cup hopes for '94 eliminated last night. And Darian Hatcher may see his disappear tonight.
Now here's an example of good defensive play that turns things around and results in a penalty. Craven with a perfect pass. All of a sudden these guys are on the attack when they were playing good defense. You see the change of pace by Courtnall that freezes Hatcher, and Hatcher has no choice but to put the stick on him and let the referee decide whether he will go to the sin bin or not. He does, and the Canucks get a power play. Good solid defense at their end of the rink. Generates a good breakout. Courtnall with a shifty little move, and all of a sudden a power play occurs.
Paul Cavallini was having words with several players on the Vancouver bench. He skated over. The 2 linesmen quickly moved in. He skated away, skated back again. Ron Smith was pointing at something he obviously thought Cavallini had done, and referee Terry Gregson came over quickly, but there were no penalties assessed.
Could be a stock tip. Don Cavallini is a registered securities broker in the offseason, goes back to St. Louis and does that. You never know. The perfect time, guys. Have you heard about ABC Company? It's going to the moon.
His stock tip, maybe don't purchase too many shares in future playoff games for Dallas.
Well, I always like buy low, sell high.
2:57 remaining in the period. Vancouver on the power play. Evison wins the draw. Adams quickly races in back of the net with Bure. To the point for Lume. Lume shoots. Rebound, and Linden couldn't get a shot away. Bure gets it back to the line for Brown. Over to Lume. He was fortunate there that the puck bounced off a skate over to his defensive partner. Brown has it for Linden. Adams is in front of the net. Bure's at the side of the net. Linden looking. Lume moved in from the point. Lume tried to set up. Goes to the side of the net for Bure. Bure Bure lets the shot go. It's blocked in front of the net. Ludwig trying to clear, put it into the crowd, out of play.
I think Ledyard took that one on the side of his body where there wasn't a lot of padding. Ludwig had tried to jump into the middle, but as you see, Ledyard shaking his left leg as he comes to the bench to get a little bit of relief.
He almost severed the tip of the little finger on his left hand in Game 3. I was talking to him yesterday, and he had the bandage off the finger, and let me tell you, it really is a mess. And I said, is it really painful? He said, it's all consuming.
Well, I don't know why it is, but all of the nerves come right at the end of your fingertip, and anybody who's got something stuck under their nail or a paper cut, you magnify that by a substantial amount, and it gives you an example of how it hurts when the thing's almost lopped off. It's almost better to have it off and throw a bandage over it rather than get it sewed on and hope that it gets healed. Here's how Ledyard gets hit as the puck comes in from the point. He turned to make sure he had Linden. Got him on the side of the leg. That one smarts.
Adams ties up Lawler. Linden uses his strength to force his way out. Over to Lume. To Brown. Brown back to Lume. Lume moves in for Linden. Linden back to Lume. Over to Brown. Being watched by Broughton at the side of the net. Bure now puts it back to Lume. To Linden. Linden shoots. Loose puck in front of the net. And Adams couldn't get to it. Andy Moog went down neatly, anticipating the shot from Trevor Linden. 33 seconds remaining in the penalty to Hatcher. Brown shoots right on, and the big rebound picked up by Broughton. Left for Lawler. Lawler having some problems getting it out as Lume cuts it off. 12 seconds remaining in the penalty. And finally, the Stars do get it, and they flip it down the ice. And at this time, we say hello to viewers who have been watching the action between San Jose and Toronto. The Sharks leading 5-2 here at the Pacific Coliseum in the final minute. It's 3-1. The Vancouver Canucks leading the Dallas Stars. I'm Don Whitman along with Jim Poplinski and Steve Armitage. Mike Modano has scored the lone goal for Dallas. He got spun around, couldn't get a shot away. Babbage brings it back. He misses Courtnall with a pass. Ledyard goes back after it. Memesso bumps him hard. 26 seconds remaining. Gagne got spun around as he tried to drive for the net. He gets it again. Gagne leaves it there. Matvechuk goes back to the net. Matvechuk trying to center it, and McLean grabs the puck.
Once again, McLean doing his best impersonation of a vacuum cleaner. That confidence and calmness is all around this guy. His defense are not letting guys jump out in front of him. He's comfortable that that's going to happen, and even when somebody gets an edge, like Matvechuk just did, he's right there. Matvechuk continues to move. Look at how Hennigan keeps him to the outside. Makes a decision then to jump in front of the net. When you can skate as quickly and as well as Hennigan does, you head a guy off at the pass. Hennigan did just that and stopped Matvechuk from being able to wheel around in front.
The Vancouver Canucks, as they had done in the previous 4 games in this series, took the early lead. Lafayette at 7:04, Bure at 9:32, before Modano scored at 17:41 of the first period, and Murray Craven has scored the only goal of the second. Backhand shot by Hatcher, deflects off the stick high. Hatcher steps into Jelena. Jelena is down as the puck is fired wide. From the point, Cavallini's shot goes wide as the final seconds tick away, and Jelena complains about no penalty call.
Well, Kirk McLean has stopped 55 of 56 shots in the third period in overtime. When you're down by 2 goals, if you look at those statistics, it doesn't make you feel very good. As soon as the Canucks go into the dressing room, they'll sit down and say, guys, we have enough to win. We don't have to impress anybody. Keep playing exactly the same way. Dallas, on the other hand, has got to find a step. If they don't, it's a quiet flight on the way back to Texas tomorrow morning.
Vancouver outshot Dallas 13-10 in the second period. and Murray Craven scored the only goal to give Vancouver a 3-1 lead. Steve, what have we got? Games in the 93-94 season of the Dallas Stars. They trailed the Vancouver Canucks 3-1, and the Canucks would dearly love to finish it off tonight. An image that remains indelibly etched in the minds of hockey fans occurred in this date in 1970. Bobby Orr doing a full gainer after scoring the winning goal in a Boston Bruins Stanley Cup triumph.
Boy, who didn't have that poster on their bedroom wall? Look at the difference in the game. No names in the back of the shirts. Why are those boards all white? After 40 seconds of overtime against Glenn Hall to sweep St. Louis for the Stanley Cup. And in 1991, the Minnesota North Stars, who eventually moved to Dallas, knocked off the defending Stanley Cup champs, the Edmonton Oilers, and went on to the finals.
And in 1991, the Minnesota North Stars had a record of 27, 39, and 14, 12 games below 500. And that is the poorest one-loss record any team has ever taken into a Stanley Cup final.
And this is the best record that the Stars have ever taken past the regular season. 97 points they had this year. Back in the early 80s, they managed 96 one time. That doesn't take into account 4 more games. Last 3 games, no goals in the third period. Well, that's a number that the Stars want to change, and it's all right by the Canucks if that sits exactly the same. 55 of 56 shots. Kirk McLean has stopped past the third period and overtime.
The only goals in the third period in this series were scored in Game 1, where Mike McPhee tied it at 4 for Dallas as they overcame a 4-1 deficit. But then the Canucks put it away. Martin Jelena wound up scoring the winning goal. Adams goes to the corner after it. He starts away with Linden. Linden couldn't pick up the pass initially, gets another opportunity and flips it in. Now Modano drives it back of the net. Tried to center it, picked off by Linden. Linden for Bure against Ludwig. Bure trying to go to the outside. He cuts to the net, gets a shot away, a one-handed shot that Andy Moog steered to the corner, and then Bure went in heavily against the end boards.
Well, this rush is a result of a strong defensive play by Trevor Linden all the way back at the other end of the rink. Makes the pass, also intercepted Modano's centering pass. Watch Ludwig here. He gets his stick on the hip of Bure. Right there, Bure has him beat, but the KG defenseman finds a way to prevent Bure. Right here, perfect replay. Watch the stick come out. Gets it on the inside of the hip. Now Bure cannot continue to go. Puts him to the outside. There's not a penalty call for that, but there could certainly be one. A shifty move by Bure to get around Ludwig, though. Found a way, and that's what the Stars have to do. They have to find a way and get a step or it's over.
Courtnall over to Craven. Craven shot, and that deflects to the corner. Lafayette is checked back to the net. The puck is knocked past Craven. It comes out to Courtnall. Courtnall goes back to the line. Over to Lafayette. He picked it out of the air behind the net for Craven. Craven to Courtnall. He one-times it, and Moog managed to get a pad on it. Two scoring opportunities early in the third for Vancouver. And a goal here for Vancouver might all but put the Stars away. Gagner leaves it there. Russ Courtnall, who has led all shooters in this game with 6 shots fired at Kirk McLean, can't go anywhere with it. Younger brother Jeff got to the line. His pass was picked off. Glenn goes back to get it. Now moves it ahead for Ronning. Here comes Jelena. Running shot, and Jelena couldn't get the rebound as it bounced high off Andy Moog. Emerson throws it towards the net. Lume takes it back to the goal. 17:59 remaining in the period. Cavallini is bumped against the boards by Memesso as he shoots it in. Memesso flipped it ahead for Jelena. Jelena picks it up, tried to get around Ludwig, but the veteran defenseman knocked it away from him. who has had a strong game for Vancouver, lost control. Then McPhee was checked. The puck is kept in the zone as Brown goes back after it. Brown for Bure. Bure stopped by Broughton. Gets it to Linden. His shot blocked by Moe. Vancouver forwards in the neutral zone all over the Dallas Stars, not giving them a chance to come through neutral ice. Ledger pestered from behind by Bure. Back after the puck goes Hedeka. Stars manage to keep it in. Eklund leaves it in the corner. Paul Broughton is bumped by Trevor Linden. Still stays with the puck. He's forced to turn in the corner. Tried to flip it towards the net, and reaching up high is Kirk McLean, and he relieves the pressure by holding it for a face-off.
Well, let's take a quick look at what has gone on through the second period of this game. The statistics are not quite as close as the hockey game. Face-offs virtually even in all zones. Blocked shots, a bit of a discrepancy there. Hits, the same sort of thing, with the exception of a couple of Canuck goals and some more solid defensive play than the Canucks. This game is a close one. Cardinals, you see Russ has picked up a lot more ice time than his brother Jeff. Jeff has been very, very effective. One of the better Vancouver Canucks. Russ has been the best star. Bure and Modano close as well, but Modano has not done as much in the 11.5 minutes that he has played. Both have got a goal. Modano's, both of his shots came in the opening period. He's trying to find the net now.
Hatcher couldn't go to the net. Puck comes around to the other point. Matvichuk pinches in. Gilchrist flips it back to the net for Modano. Now Gilchrist gets it again. Gilchrist flips it behind the net for Platt. Babbage is on him. Platt manages to get to the puck. Babbage stays with him. And now Babbage won't let him drive to the corner. The puck is picked up by Craven. He skates away with Lafayette. Courtnall racing up on the right side. Lafayette goes to the net, slid it in front, and Andy Moog steered it to the corner. Now Lume has it behind his back for Craven. Craven looked out front for Courtnall. He's checked. And the Stars gain possession and flip it out. Ryan Glynn brings it back, drops it for Courtnall. Courtnall is checked, gets it again. Matvichuk has it in the corner for Dallas. He leaves it there for Russ Courtnall. He dodges Cliff Ronning. Flips it ahead for Broughton. Here's a shot, and McLean grabs it in, holds it as Gagne racing in from the right side. Let it go, and McLean squeezed it in his pads. 15:30 remains in the third. Andy Moog has been the busier goaltender tonight, but Kirk McLean, as he has throughout the playoffs, has made some big saves and has appeared very relaxed, calm, and confident in doing so.
Well, it's not always how many you stop, but when you stop them. More often than not, McLean has stopped the huge majority of his shots, but the key part of his game has been stopping them when his team has needed a big one. Save.
Eklund is checked by Glynn. Matvichuk cuts it off. Eklund checked again by Glynn, but manages to flip it behind the net, and McLean comes out to play it. Penalty coming up. A penalty call has been made against Vancouver with 15:14 remaining in the period, and now Lume tangled up there with Paul Broughton as Gregson was calling a penalty, and Lume is going to go off to the penalty box. Whether that was an earlier incident or this latest collision with Broughton.
Well, Broughton tried to hit Lume a little bit earlier, and that's where the original penalty happened. And as Lume came back to have a little chow with him, he put his glove up and Broughton went down. Here's a look at what happened as Broughton comes in and slips over Lume. I question that call, that Broughton seizing an opportunity then saw if he could get Lume's goat. It went down. Gregson did not see it, and there wasn't a call there anyways. Nonetheless, a huge opportunity here 15-14 remaining in the third. Dallas has had an anemic power play at best. Here's the retaliation that got things going to begin with, right in front of the net. That's why Lume got upset, but I didn't think that he roughed Broughton. Regardless, Modano has a chance of the power play.
Linden, however, wins the draw. He can't clear. Gilchrist attempting to send it back to the point, missed Ledger.
Big play by Hedican there. Gilchrist had the puck on his stick. Hedican couldn't get to the puck, but he could get to Gilchrist's stick, so he whacked the stick right at the right moment, and that's why Courtnall had to come 200 feet.
Russ Courtnall looks for someone to give it to. He's checked by Linden, but the puck bounces to Gilchrist. Back to Russ Courtnall. He goes in deep. Modano in front of the net, a quick release, and McLean moving equally as fast to block the shot. Bob Gainey has talked about the quick release of Mike Modano. He said his wrist shot at times is almost as hard as many players' slap shot. McIntyre picks it up. McIntyre trying to go around Cavallini and managed to get a shot away. Tim Hunter takes a hit from Churla but keeps it in. 49 seconds remaining in the penalty. Here comes Gagne, but a whistle and a penalty call, an interference call against the Dallas Stars with 44 seconds remaining in the penalty to Lume.
Boy, this one's hurts as Evison comes in behind and hopes to create a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2. You have to be watching carefully to pick up these calls as a referee. You're jumping up the ice watching the puck carrier. Evison, the former Hartford Whaler, gets a 2-minute interference penalty as he takes out the Vancouver defenseman.
So in 44 seconds, unless there are other penalties, Pat Quinn's team will have a power play of 1:16.
Well, Pat Quinn went to 5 different universities before he completed his undergraduate degree, and then went on to complete his law degree after being let go by the Philadelphia Flyers. Took a couple of years off and then got back into hockey with the LA Kings and a degree under his belt. Hasn't used it a lot, but feels it has benefited his business acumen tremendously.
Matvichuk shot up high. McLean flips that back to the net, and Davich trying to move away from Eklund. Now Broughton comes in to help out Eklund. Eklund looks back to the point. Now in front for Broughton, and McLean makes another save. Eklund has it again. He's checked, this time by Bure. Bure dodges Hatcher. The puck moves up to Diddick, back to Bure. Bure turns on the Jets. Coming down the right side, tried to drag it past Matvichuk. And behind the play, as a penalty has been called against Vancouver, Andy Moog was upset.
Well, we talked about the old slew foot, Don. And I think that Bure may have got caught. He tried a fancy move. You've seen different players do it at different speeds. Watch as he tries to put it off his right foot on his backhand, right there, and kick it up. Just misses it. Now he goes through the crease. Moog put his right leg out a little bit there. I wonder if he was hoping for the collision. Watch Moog's right leg. It goes out, and Bure doesn't really change his, but it catches him, and Moog goes down. A crafty little play by the Penticton native to force a potential call that Gregson does make, and now Bure is in the penalty box for 2, and there's 1:10 remaining on the interference call to Evison.
Well, there's a fair bit of BC influence on this Dallas Star team. Courtnall from Duncan, Churla from Fernie, Moog from Penticton, and Gilchrist from Vernon. Where's Pavel Bure? He's hiding in there somewhere, or tightening his skates. Ledger for Gagne. Gagne's shot is blocked by Brown. Gagne tried to throw it out front, and very coolly Kirk McLean steered it to Linden for Courtnall. Courtnall tried to work through. Broken up by Ledger. Ledger, great wide pass for Gagne. He couldn't handle it. Linden got back to pick up the loose puck. He leaves it there for Hedeken. In 38 seconds, Dallas will have a power play. Passes beyond Linden. But he's all over the ice. Has done just about everything tonight for the Vancouver Canucks. And now Linden goes to the bench. Greg Adams comes out. Russ Courtnall comes away with Gagne. He tried to flip it in, but blocked by Lume, and Adams starts back. Jelena jumps up into the play. Lume didn't see him, couldn't get the puck to him. Russ Courtnall put it up high in the glass, hoping to spring Matvichuk free, but it's an icing call. And now the Dallas Stars will have a power play of 47 seconds.
Well, Modano has a goal so far this evening. Earlier, Gainey had a few different comments about Modano. Modano had made some remarks about not playing with Courtnall, who has had an exceptional game tonight. Here's what he said. From some of the things I've read from Mike Modano, he thinks Courtnall is an asset to him. You can read the rest, but I think that Gainey's comments 99% of the time are very, very accurate and right from the heart. He talks about speed and flash, but not a lot of finish. And he makes it clear that although he understands that these guys can play well together, the 2 games in Dallas when they were playing together, they lost, and that substantiates his position. Doesn't get upset with any of his players ever, except in very rare circumstances, and makes sense whenever he says something. Well thought out. I've been very, very impressed with his patience, not only with his players, but with the throng of media that want to talk to him after a tough loss or a big win.
Lume flips it down the ice. After game 4 of the series, some members of his team apparently didn't want to deal with the media, and they were off in the room. Gainey went to the door and said, if you're not coming out, I'm letting the media in.
Well, sometimes as a player, you don't appreciate the job that writers and different media have to do. But Gainey certainly has. And Don, as you well know, after a game, there's 20 or 30 microphones in your face, and when you've lost a heartbreaker in overtime and you still wait until the last guy finishes the game, it tells you what kind of class the person has, and that's what Bob Gainey has done game in and game out, even though the games and score right now is not in his team's favor.
The Canucks continuing to frustrate the Stars. They were unable to do anything on the power play. Bure is back on the ice. 10:45 is the time remaining in the third. It is 3-1. Vancouver leading. Now Linden. Bure was checked by McPhee as he tried to drive for the front of the net. Now it's Ludwig throwing it around the boards for Paul Broughton. Ahead for McPhee. He has Gilchrist with him, but Gilchrist couldn't stay onside. 10:15 remains in the third. The Vancouver Canucks continue to lead by 2 goals.
There is 8:42 to play in San Jose. The Sharks up by 3, leading the Leafs 5-2.
Well, with all the different teams that have lost, this year's Stanley Cup winner will either be a brand new one that has never won it before, or one that has not repeated in a whole pile of years.
Hatcher hit Ronning in the helmet initially with his shoot-in attempt, and now Matvichuk is being pressured by Ronning as he goes back. Pass is too far for Barr. McLean comes out of the net to play it to the corner, picked up there by Evason. Evason looking for Barr at the side of the net. Matvichuk racing in from the point. Centered for Evason. He couldn't shoot. Back to Churla. Churla's shot deflects off his stick and goes up high. And he runs into a couple of Canucks, Ronning and Mamesso. Dallas Stars are rapidly approaching the stage in the hockey game where they're going to have to take some big chances.
And as soon as they do, the way Vancouver is playing, this is the catch-22. Vancouver will start to get more chances because they're so strong defensively.
launcher went crashing towards the net, but Broughton couldn't get him the pass, and away comes Craven. He has Lafayette with him. Brown trailing. Brown shoots. Great save by Moog with Lafayette standing right there.
Well, Don, we just didn't get the words out of our mouth, and all of a sudden the puck turns over. When you're playing a team the way the Canucks are playing right now, and you try to open it up, here's what happens. You get in deep, the puck comes out, and all of a sudden they gobble it up. They're jumping up the ice, playing discipline. Look at Brown, piles in on the attack. A nice little drop by Craven. 3-on-2. Now Dallas wants that 3-on-2. They're saying, how does this work? We're pressuring the Canucks. We need the 3-on-2. We're down 2, not them. Why do they get it? That's because they're playing much tighter as a unit. And when you dump the puck into the middle and one of your guys isn't there, Vancouver wheels out. Dallas goes through a bit of a huddle, looking to find something that they've been searching for 3 out of the 5 games, and most of this one. Whether they can find it in the next 8:59 or not is the question.
Lawler trying to hit Gilchrist in the neutral zone with a long lead pass. Gilchrist was tied up, and now Lume tries to get away from Gilchrist. He simply flips it out. Lume gets it again. Ludwig looking for Courtnall at the blue line. It was broken up by Glynn. Brian Glynn didn't play the first round against Calgary. He has replaced the injured Dana Merzen, and this game tonight has been his best of the playoffs.
And he's a very, very strong player. He's got a tremendous shot, and he's got pretty soft hands. If he could ever get a little owly, he could stick with a team in the National Hockey League and make a huge difference to them and to his career.
Lawler has it in the corner for Modano. Modano back to the point. Cavallini lets the shot go. That was blocked by Murray Craven. Craven also got a bit of an elbow from Cavallini after blocking the shot, and some fans, I suppose, thought there should have been a penalty.
Well, and there should have been, but you're going to get a little bit of leniency from the referee here.
Here's Bure with Linden. Bure shoots, gets the rebound, and Moog makes the save. 7:41, the time remaining. Is that all the time in the Dallas Stars season? We'd like to say hello right now to 7-year-old Kyle Musselman of Gold River, BC, a young hockey player badly mauled by a cougar the other day. Now in Vancouver Children's Hospital, he underwent 11 hours of surgery. His condition has been upgraded to serious. And Kyle, we certainly wish you a speedy and complete recovery. Mamesso flips it down the ice. Again, Hatcher taking a chance, pinching in from the point. He got trapped in too deep as the puck was knocked past him. Broughton bumps McIntyre. Matvechuk now flips it out to center ice, picked up there by Broughton. He couldn't handle it, and Jelena starts back. Checked by Matvechuk. Matvechuk racing up in the play, and Jelena coming back strongly takes it away from him. Jelena can't clear. Churla looks for someone to Gagne. Gagne's shot, and Broughton drove for the rebound, and somehow McLean managed to hold that one out. 6:52 remains in the third. And 15.
Well, that was just for you. As a player, you don't realize how much time and effort and work goes into the production of a broadcast, something that I certainly had my eyes open to. The expertise that brings great pictures and sounds into your home is something that is quite incredible.
Churla has it. Back of the net. Comes loose in the slot area as it was centered by Gagne. Now it's brought back in by Ledyard with Evason. Hedekin takes it away from him. 6:25 remaining in the third period. Here comes Linden. Adams dashes to the corner, tied up there by Ledyard.
This is an awful song when you're down a couple of goals in the playoffs. You've got to somehow put the earplugs in and forget about it if you hope to have a chance of fighting back. Your heart starts to sink and you wonder how to get back in the game.
Bure shoots right on. The big rebound gathered up by McPhee. McPhee checked by Lafayette. The loose puck grabbed by Churla. Lafayette stays with him. He scored a goal tonight, but the Canucks will probably talk about the good defensive work he has done in this playoff series for Vancouver. Glynn has it, puts it up high in the glass and out. Matvichuk leaves it there for Modano. Modano flipped it ahead for Courtnall, but it's a two-line pass.
Boy, Courtnall has had a very strong game this evening, both of them. Jeff with a huge assist. Now he's a little upset here talking to Gregson. He really got run over by Hatcher, I think it was. He has a conversation with him, and you can read Hatcher's lips. But it's a lot easier to take the beating when you're up by 2 and you're 5.5 minutes away from going into the semifinals and the playoffs. Here's a look at the hit. Courtnall has relaxed a bit, and that dangerous distance from the boards. He really got rocked. That one might put him into the hyperbaric chamber for a little bit of time. But this guy has been outstanding. This has been his best game of this series. A perfect pass over to Craven that gave Vancouver their 2-goal lead again and took a lot of wind out of the Stars' sails.
5:25 remaining in the third period. Hatcher for Modano. Modano flipped it rink wide. There was nobody there, and Glynn will drive it right back in. Get an example of the confidence that Pat Quinn has in Brian Glynn. Even though he didn't play the series against Calgary, he's out there now in a crucial situation. Gagne trying to drive in. Glynn flips it to the boards, and Craven moves it ahead for Lume. Lume gets away from Modano to Courtnall. Courtnall goes wide. Lume crashes to the net. Courtnall's shot is blocked by Andy Moog, and he holds it for a face-off. And now Courtnall bumps Matvichuk. But nothing more serious is going to develop. 4:49 remains in period 3. The Canucks lead by 2. Chance at the clock. He knows that if he can keep the Dallas Stars off the board for the remaining 4:49, the Vancouver Canucks will have a well-earned rest before they move to the conference final against either Toronto or San Jose. 3 minutes left at the San Jose Arena, still 5-2. The Sharks leading, looking to take a 3-2 lead back to Toronto for Game 6 on Thursday night. Format in that series like this one as Gilchrist lets a shot go, blocked at the side of the net by Babbage, and Babbage is hurt. The format in that Toronto series the same as this one, a 2-3-2 setup. So if the Sharks and Leafs should go the 7 games, the next 2 will be at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Well, that cuts down on the travel substantially. Dallas will travel back tomorrow morning. They're not going to charter back right after this game. And the only difference in their plans will be the amount of noise on the plane. It'll be a little quiet if it stays the same score. Talk about Vancouver and finding themselves in a great situation. Who would have ever thought when this season ended, the regular season that is, that Vancouver would be 4 minutes and 22 seconds away from advancing to the semifinals and have either Toronto or San Jose as their partner. 2 teams that they've really enjoyed playing this year and done pretty well against.
Back to the line for Modano. He wheels and fires wide. Courtnall has it. Courtnall over on the wing for Hatcher. It bounced off his stick. Centering attempt. Picked up by Bure. Bure starts back. He's knocked down in the neutral zone by Courtnall, who came back to pick up the loose puck. And referee Terry Gregson hears a chorus of boos as the fans thought a penalty should have been called. Modano now wheels away. Modano still has a quick shot, and left pad comes sliding out. Here's a lead pass for Bure. Bure going in. Score!
Well, Don, we're sounding like soothsayers. Dallas looking to attack, trying to open the ice up. But good, solid defensive play. The save by McLean and the counter. Bure's on his way. He gets caught. Finds some space. When he makes his backhand move and goes this high, there's nobody going to stop it. A 4x8 sheet of plywood would have trouble stopping this goal that has put 10 nails all at one time in the coffin of the Stars.
The Russian rocket has put this building into orbit. As we said at the start of tonight's telecast, talk about noise in other buildings in the league. Chicago Stadium and the San Jose Arena. This facility tonight certainly rivals those two buildings, particularly after Bure made it 4-1 and all but dashed any comeback hopes of the Dallas Stars. Gilchrist will try. He still has it. Flips a shot that goes high against the glass. Paul Broughton looking to center. Gilchrist has it. Gilchrist is checked by McLean. McLean got his stick to knock it away from him. And back comes Jeff Courtnall with Babbage. Over to Babbage, and it bounced over his stick. 2:32 remaining. Adams and McLean draw the assists on the Bure goal. And it's appropriate, I suppose, that McLean gets an assist based on his performance not only tonight but in the series.
Well, he's had lots of assists. It's just they haven't showed up on the scoreboard.
Here's a chance as Cavallini came racing in from the point, flipped a backhand, and a penalty call has been made against Vancouver. I think Dave Babbage will be going off with 2:10 remaining in the hockey game.
Well, and you might see Andy Moog go off as well. Babbage gets nailed for holding. His stick broke, and he was scrambling, trying to keep everybody to the outside.
Goodbye, Dallas Stars. Hello, San Jose or Toronto.
Now here's a look at the penalty as the stick's broken. He puts the grip on McPhee. McLean was there. Babbage has been very, very strong once again. Boy, huge efforts from a number of different players. I can't help but go back to some different series that I've watched or been involved in. You know, not unlike Vancouver back in 1982. Guys like Harry Snepps had unbelievable series. Thomas Gradine, Richard Brodeur. You know, Montreal in '86 didn't have a hugely overskilled team.
Cavallini's shot goes wide. Ledyard races in from the point, keeps it in. Russ Courtnall has it. Modano is back at the net. He goes out front. Cavallini back to Courtnall. Courtnall for Cavallini. A shot knocked down. The rebound. They score. Modano may have pushed it past Kirk McLean on the backhand. His second of the hockey game.
Well, this may be too little too late, but it has given Dallas enough to get 4 guys standing on the bench. Now, you know, you can still pull Moog, but you're 2 behind. Modano in front of the net. This one finds a hole between McLean's pads. Vancouver's penalty killing has been excellent, and the power play of the Stars has not been great. Gagne gets a backhand and a quick release on it. A nice job by Gagne. These guys, as Churla said, will not die. Any difference in the score has been simply due to outstanding play and effort by this Canucks team.
Cavallini trying to clear, cut off by Momesso. Gagne gets the goal. Both he and Modano were in front, and it was Gagne who knocked it in. Cavallini draws an assist. Say hello to viewers who have been watching the San Jose Sharks 5-2 win over Toronto. I'm Don Whitman along with Jim Poplinski, and Steve Armitage at the Pacific Coliseum. Mike Gagne on the power play from Cavallini and Courtnall has just made it 4-2. Vancouver leading Dallas. Andy Moog is out of the net. Amesso tries to flip it out, cut off by Gilchrist. But an incident involving Hatcher and Lume attracts the attention of referee Terry Gregson. And it looks as though he is going to send players to the penalty box. Well, it's Hatcher who's going off.
Well, these penalties will tend to be insignificant. We'll have some 4-on-4 play. Dallas will pull their goalie and have 5-on-5. Now, if you're a Canuck and you're not thinking too far ahead, but still you're curious about your record against the Sharks in Toronto, a great play to keep that puck in. Against the Sharks, the Canucks were 3-3. They won 3 and lost 3. 19 goals, 421 against. Same thing with the Leafs. 4 games, 500 hockey. They played 2-2, 13 goals against and 12-4. You can split the difference with a hair, but right now there's just under 52 seconds that the Canucks have to play with. 4-on-4. Goalie pulled. The Canucks have been a better team than Dallas in 4-on-4, but with an extra attacker, it becomes 5-on-4. Watch how Vancouver collapses in and then jumps out quickly. They have been outstanding in their game from defense to offense tonight.
With San Jose defeating Toronto 5-2 tonight and taking a 3-2 lead in that series. Game 6 on Thursday will be seen coast to coast if the Vancouver Canucks hang on to their 4-2 lead here at the Pacific Coliseum. Only 15 teams with sub-500 records have made the finals. The Minnesota North Stars did it in 1991. The Vancouver Canucks did it in 1982. And a stick measurement has been called by Bob Gainey on the stick of goaltender Kirk McLean.
Now this is a last-ditch effort. Remember what happened with the Montreal Canadiens and Marty McSorley last year. Now you can't measure the curve on a goal stick, but you can measure the width of the paddle. That's the part that Gregson has on. We call that the stick measurer. It's not the right English. Stick gauge is the proper words, but players always call for the measurer. Now Dallas was looking for an edge here. I don't think that they have received it. McLean gets his stick back. The penalty is negated, and Dallas will get a delay of game. Every effort you have to make. Gainey knew that Linden was okay on the stick, and Diddick, and Babbage, and Courtnall. They hoped for a small miracle on the paddle of McLean. That wasn't to be. Remember, a goaltender can have a stick any size, and you can't touch the goaltender's equipment. That all gets measured at the start of the playoffs. That has been done with McLean and Urbe and Moog and all of the rest of the guys that remain.
Well, it will result in a delay of game penalty being assessed against Dallas. Andy Moog is over at the bench. And now Gilchrist comes over as Russ Courtnall looks up at the clock to see 51.8 seconds remaining. The Canucks with a chance to become the first team in the Western Conference to win a playoff series on home ice. And this building that erupted when Pavel Bure made it 4-1 will explode again in the final seconds.
You know, when you get your stick measured, even if you're absolutely certain that it's within the guideline, you still wonder, boy, what if the gauge is bent or there's an error made? It's something that's irreversible as soon as the call is made, as the crowd here listens to the outcome of the San Jose-Toronto game. Now Gregson just explaining that there will not be 5-on-4. I think what he's saying is with the one penalty now, the other coincidentals will cancel themselves so that we will play one less. As everybody gets straightened out here, we'll figure it out.
Well, it will be 6-on-5 as Andy Moog has gone to the bench. And at the Vancouver bench, there is reason for players to begin smiling just a little.
Well, and that makes it 5-on-5. Courtnall and Modano, Ledyard out there, Gagne and Gilchrist as well.
Over to Courtnall. Courtnall takes a shot that goes off Didick to the corner. A whistle on the play as the puck deflects over the glass.
Now Courtnall has been one of the best stars this evening. Pat Quinn throwing out a few last-minute words of advice, and as Gregson gets his hand up, Vancouver will have an opportunity to change, but Quinn has got the guys that he wants. Great endurance. And when you're 50 seconds away from going to the semifinals, it doesn't matter how sore you are or how much you played, you feel pretty good.
Modano flipped it toward the net. It comes loose for Russ Courtnall. He's checked. And Adams fires at the length of the ice, hits the post. Modano for Gagne. He flips it up high, knocked out of the air by Didick. And the whistle goes as the puck was contacted with a high stick with 26.4 seconds remaining. The executive producer of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC is Ron Harrison. Tonight's game from the Pacific Coliseum is being produced by Larry Isaac. Our director here in Vancouver is Ron Forsyth. Calling the replays for this series is ISO director Don Moss. And a special thanks to all the other production and technical personnel who helped make this telecast possible. As well, the head of Network Television Sports is Alan Clark, and CBC's senior executive producer is Doug Sellers. 26.4 seconds remaining. Gilchrist couldn't work his way in initially, gets it again, but it's offside.
Well, Dallas found a way to come back and win a huge game here in Game 3. Each one of their players raised their level a notch, but the Canucks got back on track, and with a tremendous amount of momentum, an outstanding play from each guy to a man. You can't hardly picture one of the Canucks that has not performed up to his capabilities.
In front of the net, banked off the boards and out, and we'll let the fans take the Canucks to the Western Conference Final. The Western Conference Final begins next Monday. Will it be here at the Pacific Coliseum against San Jose or in Toronto against the Maple Leafs? Pat Quinn really doesn't care which opponent he faces. He's just happy to be going to the final. And now let's go down to the Vancouver bench, and here's Steve Armitage.
Thank you very much, Don. And with me now is Pat Quinn. Pat, these fans have been very patient. They waited a long time for this moment.
Yeah, they sure have. They've been just fabulous. As long as I've been here, they've stuck with us. They started coming back, and I hope this is a good reward for them. I hope we're not done yet.
A nice feeling to clinch at home.
Oh, absolutely. I don't remember doing it here, so it's fantastic. It's great for them. Pretty happy night right now.
The biggest thing you may have done, Pat, is buy yourself some time before you start the Western Final.
I think we could use a couple of days off. We had a tough series with Calgary, and this was a real physical series too, so we could use a couple of days to get set to prepare for that next one.
Does it make any difference to you, the Leafs or the Sharks?
Well, at this point, I haven't even thought about it. We were worried about the Stars.
Pat, congratulations once again. Terrific series.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
We got Jeff Courtnall coming into the picture right now. Jeff, you won the battle of the Courtnall brothers.
It's nice just to move on. The last 2 years we've lost in the second round, and everybody worked hard this series, so disappointed for him, but you know, you got to do what it takes in this playoffs.
Isn't this a great feeling to clinch the series in front of the hometown fans?
Yeah, we didn't want to go back to Dallas. I think, you know, we've had a tough time at home so far in the playoffs, but to dig down and win it the way we did tonight, it's great.
Tough series in which to pick out a single star, but I think you'd point the finger at your goaltender, Kirk McLean.
Oh, for sure. The whole playoffs, he's been the key, and you know, we just got to thank that he's been hot. Hopefully he'll continue.
And Pavel Bure wasn't too shabby either.
No, he's a great player. He scored big goals for us, and it's great to see that fourth one go in tonight.
I know you haven't thought about this for a single second, but does it make any difference to you, Lisa Sharks, in the conference final?
No, not at all. I think, you know, we're just looking forward to going on, and I mean, we got to play hard whoever we meet and just get prepared here in the next few days off.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeff Courtnall. I've got Pavel Bure standing next to me. Pavel, must be a marvelous feeling. The crowd, the response.
Well, yeah, sure. It's nice to win, especially at home. It was a really big series for us. We couldn't pass the second round 2 years in a row, and we did this year. You played very well. It was very physical at the start of the series for you, but towards the end, you played your kind of game. Well, I couldn't hear you. We've got horns, we've got everything going. At the beginning of the series, very physical for you, but towards the end of the series, you were able to play your game. Yeah, it was a couple games real physical, and after, you know, it's kind of slowed down. Everybody tried to play, you know, solid defensively and make nice plays. Congratulations, Pavel. Okay, we've got Kirk McLean coming over here. Kirk McLean, just a tremendous series. It must be a great feeling to win in front of the hometown fans.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, finally we got something rolling at home. I mean, we had an up and down season at home, and you know, it wasn't fair for the fans, and they stuck with us, and we pulled one out for them tonight.
I don't think I've ever seen you so calm, cool, and collected as you were tonight in this one.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to keep the same type of play that I've been playing all season and all playoffs. I mean, there's no need to get excited until after the series, or until when things are clinched. I mean, if we can turn that excitement or the positive stuff into a good feeling on the ice and use it and channel it towards good usage out there instead of maybe panicking, which we didn't, and it turned out for the best.
Kirk, congratulations on a terrific series. Right now, let's go upstairs and join Don Whitman and Jim Pavlinsky.
The three stars in tonight's hockey game, Pavel Bure, Jeff Courtnall, and Brett Hedican. Tomorrow night, game
sports page. Those Canucks had just one thing on their minds tonight as they took to the ice for Game 5 of their Western semifinal. That one thing was finishing off the Dallas Stars and avoiding a return trip to Texas. Kirk McLean even had his good luck charm, a four-leaf clover taped to the back of his mask, as if he needs any luck the way he's played. Dallas has never scored the opening goal in this series. They desperately wanted that tonight. Courtnall had a good shot. McLean made the stop. So far, it's been the Canucks who've been the masters of the quick start, and they had a great chance here. Nathan Lafayette right out in front looking for his first playoff goal. They almost got it there, but there's Jelena back up front for Nathan Lafayette. There's his first goal. Canucks strike first again, 1-0. Then the Stars got a little stupid. Paul Cavallini threw a big elbow at Gino. This is right out of the circus here, the flying elbow. That got him a rest in the box. Knocks on the power play. There's Trevor Linden in the corner, threw it out front for Pavel Bure, his 8th of the playoffs, 10 straight games with a point, 2-0. The Stars had 12 shots in the first, but they didn't get one by McLean until late in the period on the power play. Courtnall to Modano, the quick hands, and it's in. Just his second point of the series, but that made it 2-1. Second period, here they come again. Jeff Courtnall on a 3-on-1. He's got a winger wide, the pass to Murray Craven, and he buried it. Oh, baby, the 2-goal lead was back. The place was rocking, and the home team took over this game. Third period, and now it was pretty well up to McLean. Just hang on to the lead. Actually, there's Pavel with a chance. It stayed 3-1 after 2. Here's the third period. It was up to McLean to hold this lead, but just like every other challenge he's faced in these playoffs, he beat him. Nice stop of Gagne there. Then it was Modano in the slot. Same spot as in the first period, but no goal. There was no quit in the Stars. They managed 8 pretty good shots. McLean stopped them all. Then, with just over 3 minutes left in the game, there's a turnover, and there's the breakaway. Here comes Pavel. Bure scores. Pavel puts the exclamation point on this series. Oh, man, the Canucks are now going to the conference finals. And what else can you say? They looked great. We wrote them off after Game 4 against the Flames, but they are moving on. The Stars are out. McLean, Linden, and Bure are leading the way, but they get plenty of rest as well from the other guys. The St. Louis connection, Brown, Hedican, Lafayette, they were great again tonight, as were guys like Jelena and Craven, whose second goal of these playoffs wound up to be the winner. So obviously, there was only one place to be tonight, and Don Taylor and I did a little paper, rock, scissors before the game. He won, and he's standing by right now with a live post-game report. Don?
Come on, you get all the good assignments, and you know it. What a game here at the Coliseum. It's hard to believe this empty place was filled with over 16,000 people just a few minutes ago screaming. And one of the loudest screams was for this guy right here, Nathan Lafayette. He gets his first NHL playoff goal. Did you keep the puck?
Yeah, I kept the puck, and hopefully I'll get a videotape because it was long and it was a long time coming, so I needed that.
Yeah, it must have felt good.
Yeah, it felt great. Wow.
What's it like for yourself? I mean, a couple of months ago, you're in St. Louis, you're getting a couple of shifts a game, probably a little bit unhappy. You come here to Vancouver, and you're playing a big part in the Canucks playoff drive.
It's been great. I've treated my trade to Vancouver and the playoffs as somewhat of a second season for me this year, because my time in St. Louis was it was nice to put it behind me. Although I learned a lot and everything during that time, it's nice to kind of park that and move on.
Yeah. Your confidence must be incredibly high right now, and I mean the whole team is like that right now. Is that right?
Yeah, the whole team. We're playing so well as a team that we have that team confidence where you just know what everyone else is doing on the ice. You know who's going where, who's doing what, and it just feels great.
How far can this team go, Nathan?
Well, you don't want to make any predictions, but we'll wait and see who we play in the next round, and I'm sure we'll be prepared for them and do well.
Okay, so what happens tonight? Is it a big party, a big celebration, or you take it easy? Leave the partying to the fans.
Well, I'm sure the fans will do their share of partying. We'll go out and enjoy this win, the series win, but we'll certainly not do anything stupid, and we'll certainly be ready for the next series.
Yeah. What's your school of thinking? Do you like the rest, or would you rather play in another 2 nights to keep the momentum going?
Well, the every other night, that was great for a while, but it seemed like it's starting to wear out some of the guys who are playing a little more. And I got into the Calgary series a little late, so I haven't quite felt it as much as some of the other guys, but those games certainly add up.
Okay, Nathan, congratulations on your first goal and another playoff series victory against the Dallas Stars. Appreciate you coming by. Back to you, Dave Randorf. The Canucks beat the Dallas Stars tonight, and needless to say, they weren't exactly whooping it up in the dressing room, but the Canucks very happy after tonight's game.
Guys were in pretty good control, considering the fact that it was a night we could put them away. For a lot of the game, up until the last 5 minutes, I think we got a little excited then and started throwing the puck away a little bit, but we had a lot of chances to score tonight, so today, but I think we had a little bit better of the opportunities, and what can I say? It's great. It's we're in the Final Four, and hopefully we won't stop here.
Well, it feels great. That's a big win for us. The last 2 years to lose in the second round, I was really hurt. It was long summers after that, so we still got a long ways to go. We haven't won anything yet, but it's a start.
You know, can you describe the zone you're in right now, the way you're playing?
Well, I'm just going out there trying to make the first saves. I mean, you know, the guys around me are making it a lot easier for me, for the most part, to see the shot and be able to corral the rebound or steer it into the corner. And that takes a team effort. I mean, the individual plays that are being made out there, whether it be a goal or a hit or a save or a block shot, something like that, that's what all comes from the team around you. I mean, you see guys working and it rubs off and it snowballs, and you know, that's the way I feel right now. The guys are playing excellent, and it just kind of, you look around and you get a good feeling, and it just kind of carries into the game.
McLean played well for him. come up with the big stops when they needed them. He held them in there a few times that could easily turn the momentum in the games and in the series. And they're a big team. They're a physical team. And they played well. They're playing well right now. I mean, they come out of the Calgary series with a lot of confidence, and we ran into a good team.
How far can the Canucks go?
Well, it's up to them. I mean, if they keep playing the way they are.
Okay, game one of the next series will be on Monday against either Toronto, in Toronto, or here against San Jose. It's funny, you know, he talked to most...
His agent, and this is only an 8-minute sportscast, so maybe Ron Caron can tell me where he went on vacation a couple of weeks ago. Meanwhile, 3 Blues refugees were factors again tonight. They have to be, just as do all the stars, the role players, the team. I'm just having a tough time trying to tell you I picked them in 5, but 1982 might just be around the corner. But as adages go, remember the one that says one at a time. We pick it up in the first period, and it's Russ Courtnall getting away, and he had 6 shots tonight, 9 the other night, with Jeff Blood that just couldn't beat Kirk McLean. Nathan Lafayette, 7 minutes into the game, gets a chance on his first shift, but the puck comes back to him again as Jelena and Hedekin get it to him. Jelena, the great pass, and Lafayette gets his first playoff goal, beating Andy Moog 7 minutes into the first period. And then Pavel Bure makes the Stars pay as he takes a great pass from Trevor Linden. This is a power play goal. The Canucks went 1 for 5 at that point. Ledyard had trouble with the bouncing puck, and Linden made them pay by getting it to Bure. Then Jeff Brown hits from Meso, and he deflects it wide. Gerald Didick takes a great penalty here as he takes Everson down with the puck, laying right there in McLean out of position. It remains 2-0, but the power play did click for the Stars as Courtnall just backhands it blindly, although you'd have to think he saw his line mate Mike Modano. He gets his 7th goal. It's the power play goal for the Sharks, or for the Stars, pardon me, and they're back in it. But Courtnall, a great pass, and an even better shot by Martin Jelena. This was a bit of a killer goal. Jelena's 4th of the year came 5 minutes into the 3rd. And then Lume tries to hit Bure off this pass from Craven's pass, but Andy Moog makes the save on Pavel Bure. Into the 3rd period. It's now late in the hockey game, and Modano comes down with one of his chances, but the Stars have it backfire on them as Bure breaks away. Modano can't hold him back, and Bure backhands the insurance goal in with 3.5 minutes to go in the game. It's his 9th playoff goal, and it's 4-1 at that point. It's all academic as they're counting down the clock. Mind you, the power play did click again for the Stars. It's 4-2 as Gagner gets his 5th, but there's only a minute 51 to go. So now it's strictly countdown time to the next round.
It's an elusive thing to describe what that next step is, but I think you understand it when you're in it and understand when you're not getting it. And I think we saw both of those things this year, and the fact that we were capable of it, and then at this point now being able to prove it through a very tough series with Calgary, and then also a very tough one here. Fans have just been outstanding. I mean, when I come here 7 years ago and we were looking at 9,000 people in the stands, and to see what's happening here tonight, they earned it. I'm happy for our team in there, obviously, but I'm probably more happy for the people that have supported us along the way.
Our team showed during the year that we were better than a team that should just make the playoffs, and we wanted more success, and we felt that I don't think you can be happy when you lose in 5 games, because 5 games means that you were dominated, really, and I thought that we should have been able to compete at a higher level.
They played well. They shut us down really well and took us out of the play, and you know, they worked hard. They really played in all aspects of the game really hard.
Well, we were real good this series, boy. I mean, we beat a heck of a team, and a team that had a lot of points this year, and we're a real disciplined team. And we forced them into making mistakes, and we played as good defensively as they did, but we're able to spring some offense. In the meantime.
When Bure got that final breakaway goal, was that the straw that broke the Stars back?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it puts us down to 3 goals, and with not much time left, and it's tough enough. It's been pretty tight hockey all the way through, and we battled back the first game from a 4-1 deficit, but they played hard. They tasted it, and you know, we come in here thinking that we could easily won this game, and it would have been a different story, but it didn't turn out that way.
Well, you know, it's a great feeling, but we didn't win nothing yet. You know, it's just second round, and we still have a long way to go. So it feels great, but you know, you have to go further.
I think I played very well for, you know, the season end into the playoffs, and when the team works together, everything looks good for everybody, and it makes it easier to make those big saves or get those big goals or make those big plays, block shots or whatever, if everybody's working hard and doing their job.
And Mr. Griffiths would be really happy.